Hello, welcome back to the James Ramblin' Reviews for yet another episode. And in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the new Mission Impossible movie, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, which I saw early with my parents. Managed to get that opportunity to see it in Lux Edition at the theatres. So, before I get into the plot, before I get into how I felt about this movie and all that good stuff, I have first have to give you that context, right? So, for anybody who's confused, for anybody who wants to know how I feel about the Mission Impossible franchise, well, I'm somebody who really loves action movies, and Mission Impossible, it's a lot of good stunts. It's very entertaining. It's got this plot with all these different missions, all these characters, all these key players. You just got Tom Cruise every single movie. There's this new, different kind of stunt he's pulling off, and especially once we dive into this film, he just takes that to a new level. He puts it on tenfold, really, with the kind of stunts he does. Like, it's gonna blow your mind. So the plot of the film, right? Pretty much what you have here at the centre is this giant plot that thickens all throughout, where you've got this key that's determining this whole thing that's going on in the film and how it's going to impact the future and all this stuff, and it dwells on how all this stuff is going down. There's like the villain Gabriel. There's this lady called Grace, who's played by Hayley Atwell. You might have seen her from the first Captain America film. So you've got all these key players, all these new and different, same kind of new and different characters, whatever. And then there's also the running time, which doesn't really feel even like 2.5 hours, like it just goes by. There are times when the movie slows down to sort of explain things more and give that, like, slow it down from all that insane action. So once you get out of that, right, the action is on top of the world with this movie. I'm exaggerating the hell out of this, but the actual action sequences in this film gonna blow your absolute mind, because you've got stuff like this chase sequence and that like yellow car with Hayley Atwell. They're like arrested. They've got the handcuffs on each other and they're just driving, and it's great. It's absolutely amazing. Also on top of that, that bike sequence you saw in the trailers when Tom Cruise had to practice this for a year, that is on top of the world amazing. Like, he has to drive and go onto that train. That's actually amazing. And once you know the context behind that sequence, it's just even better. On top of that, there's even the train sequences towards the end. Man, don't even get me started on that as well. Like when the train falls down and they're in the train and all the plates are moving around. It's absolutely crazy what you're seeing right there. And also the surround sound is on top of the world with this, because you just hear the sound effects and you hear the theme song, you hear the chasing and all the gunshots. It's just amazing. The times when Tom Cruise is running around, you're seeing this guy in his 60s doing this, right? Indiana Jones 5, for a reference point, had this guy, 80 years old, doing these stunts that just looked uncomfortable and or just looked horrible to look at. But this right here was this guy pulling off his stunts and entertaining. And if you love the Mission Impossible franchise, you already know you're gonna absolutely love the hell out of this movie. This movie is 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 material. There's no like cliffhanger. It ends where it needs to end. And so it feels a complete movie, and you've got that second part, you're waiting for that second part. So that's what I think about the movie. I'll be interested to see how people think about it once they've seen it on the actual release and not a pre-screener like me, the privileged little guy getting to see a movie early. No, but jokes aside, it was absolutely a pleasure to see this movie early, because this franchise is amazing. So that's what I've got to say. This movie should do absolutely well at the box office. This might be a bit of a shorter review, but I just wanted to snap, 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 get to the point. And I had to record this review like 10 times because I just kept rushing around and saying all of this stuff and not slowing down whatsoever. So outside of that, hope you enjoyed this review. Stay tuned for when maybe we'll talk about Oppenheimer. I won't be doing a James Ramblin show episode this week because this guest episode failed. It was a weird mess of a thing that was going on, and I just need a break from the podcast because yeah, you just hit those burnout points, I guess. So, bye. See you next week for another review. Dun 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 dun. Mission Impossible 7 is the best movie of 2023. Bum 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 bum. Alright, I'm gonna end the review. Sorry man, I'm just so excited with this movie. Saw it like a few hours ago. Bye.